In today's review, we are breaking down a recent interview between real estate developer Steve Witkoff and Tucker Carlson. On the surface, it might sound like an honest conversation about peace in Ukraine, but beneath the surface lies a series of dangerously misleading claims and lies.
There are several misleading or inaccurate claims made by Steve Witkoff, U.S. Special Envoy to the Middle East, in his interview with Tucker Carlson on the 22nd March of 2025. One of the most glaring misstatements is the claim that Ukrainian troops are surrounded in Kursk, a city that is actually located within Russia and has not been under Ukrainian control or encirclement at any point in the war. There is no evidence to suggest that Ukrainian forces have invaded or surrounded Russian territory in this area. This falsehood misrepresents the battlefield realities and could be perceived as a deliberate attempt to invert the narrative of aggression. Another misleading assertion is the idea that a ceasefire agreement has been reached or is being implemented between Russia and Ukraine concerning energy infrastructure. While the concept of not targeting civilian infrastructure has been proposed in various negotiation efforts, there has been no formal, verifiable ceasefire agreement announced by either side that halts such attacks. In fact, ongoing Russian missile and drone attacks on Ukraine's energy grid, especially during the winter, contradict this claim. The suggestion that Ukraine has accepted it will not join NATO is also problematic. While President Zelensky has acknowledged political complexities surrounding NATO membership, Ukraine's official stance remains one of seeking NATO accession. Furthermore, NATO has repeatedly affirmed in public statements that Ukraine has the right to pursue membership. Portraying NATO non-membership as a done deal is both misleading and politically motivated. Witkoff also repeats Russian propaganda tropes, including the claim that the occupied regions such as Crimea, Donetsk, Luhansk, Zaporizhia and Kherson voted in referendums to join Russia. These referendums, widely condemned by the international community as illegitimate, were conducted under military occupation and without independent monitoring. Describing them as meaningful expressions of democratic will is false and gives undue legitimacy to Russia's illegal annexations. Another concern is the uncritical praise of Vladimir Putin and normalization of his role in diplomacy. While dialogue is essential in diplomacy, Witkoff's portrayal of Putin as gracious and straight up lacks any acknowledgement of the numerous documented war crimes, civilian killings, and acts of aggression carried out under his leadership. This framing risks sanitizing Putin's image at a time when global institutions are seeking accountability for war-related atrocities. There is also an implicit minimization of Ukrainian sovereignty and agency. The rhetoric of needing to ensure that Russia feels satisfied with any peace deal, while relegating Ukraine's interests to something that must be solved politically, disregards Ukraine's right to territorial integrity and self-determination. It reflects a top-down, outsider-driven solution, rather than one led by the country defending its land. Lastly, much of the dialogue is centered on promoting Trump's role in negotiations, with Witkoff insisting that all progress is because of Trump, and that he doesn't get paid to say that. This politicizes the peace process and frames it as a personal victory, rather than a collective international effort involving Ukraine, its allies, and diplomatic frameworks such as the UN and EU. In conclusion, the interview presents a distorted view of the current state of the Russia-Ukraine war, misrepresents key facts, legitimizes Russian propaganda, and undermines Ukraine's sovereignty. Every day, Ukraine's land remains deadly, littered with landmines and unexploded ordnance. Innocent civilians, farmers, and rescue workers face unimaginable risks. The war will one day end, but the danger will persist for decades. That's why we need your help.
Meet Zmi, an advanced, remotely controlled demining machine made in Ukraine.
Designed for speed, precision and safety, it is capable of clearing hazardous areas efficiently while keeping human lives out of harm's way. It is affordable and effective, costs up to 80 times less than foreign demining machines, clears up to 1.8 hectares per day, operates in sand, mud, trenches and rocky terrain, certified under NATO standards. This is what makes this demining machine truly remarkable. It can withstand the detonation of an anti-tank mine and keep going. In comparison, traditional demining vehicles suffer catastrophic damage from such blasts. The machine is not only durable but also has low-cost maintenance. It survives anti-tank mine detonations, and repair costs are as low as $700 compared to over $50,000 for traditional demining vehicles. Join International Action Alliance in this mission. Your donation can help fund this demining machine and other vital land rehabilitation initiatives. Together, we can clear the land, save lives, and rebuild Ukraine's future.